So today we're going to be hearing about a recent fam trip to Pittsburgh and learning how you can sell this amazing, vibrant destination. We've got three of the attendees from the trip with us today. So hello to Dirk at Bon Voyage, Mark at Freedom USA, and Will at Visit Pittsburgh. Hi guys, thank you for joining us.
Hi, yeah.
Hello.
I'm really looking forward to hearing about the fam. And Mark, I know it was your first time visiting Pittsburgh and you explored several areas. Could you tell us about the atmosphere and what the city's like? Are there any must-visit areas that agents should definitely have on their radar?
Yeah, sure. So I didn't really know what to expect when I went to Pittsburgh, but when I got there, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, it's a great city to visit, and there generally is something for everyone. The vibe of the city is really friendly. It's obviously got quite an industrial past, and they've kind of maintained that heritage. And what they've done, they've converted a lot of those old sort of industrial buildings into restaurants, museums, galleries, and bars, and distilleries, and breweries. So there's lots to see. There's the cultural district as well, where you've got the theatres. There's jazz and cabaret clubs. You can see traveling Broadway shows there at a really affordable price. But really, my favourite area was the Strip District. Again, they've converted sort of old warehouses. There's coffee shops, restaurants, gourmet food shops. You can do a food tour of the delis. You can visit sort of Italian, Polish, and Middle Eastern delis. But the main draw around there, I would say, is you cannot visit Pittsburgh without going to Primanti Brothers and trying one of their massive, almost famous sandwiches. These things are huge. They've got chips or fries in the middle of the bread. And if you're feeling really brave, you can double your meat up for just $2. So that would be definitely my recommendation.
Amazing, delicious. Thank you. That's a top tip. Fabulous. And Dirk, it was also your first time in the city, wasn't it? And you visited lots of different attractions. Which did you particularly enjoy? And have you got any good selling tips for any of them?
Yeah, for me, I really enjoyed going to the Carnegie Museum of Art. What I liked about that, sometimes art galleries are stuffed full of paintings, so you feel a bit overwhelmed, but they just seem to show the best of the collection. So the one Van Gogh, the one Picasso, and it was all nicely spaced out. So I really loved that, and it was quite a cheap entry fee, $25 to get into the museum and the Natural History Museum next door, which was great. We also went to the Heinz Museum, and this was huge. And I did wonder why it was a 2-day ticket for $20, but it's over 7 floors, and it's got about the history of Heinz, because Heinz was formed in Pittsburgh. Then you've got a sports museum, and then you've got a lot of artifacts about the Native Americans. So that was fantastic. And then the next one we went to was the Andy Warhol Museum, and I just wished I had more time there, because it was just jaw-droppingly good. I didn't realize he directed some movies, and the movies are all showing upstairs. And yeah, you could easily spend a couple of days there. So that's my top selling tip: is these things are there, and you think you'll spend an hour or two, but you could easily spend a day in each of what I've just mentioned. So yeah, that would be my selling tip: is Pittsburgh is jam-packed with things to do and see. So don't ever think you're going to do a night or two. I would say definitely it's a 3-day, 3-night trip, definitely.
Perfect. Oh, that's really useful. Thank you. And Will, there's lots of great advice there, but could you tell us about some of the key customer types that agents should be looking to promote Pittsburgh to?
Of course. So I think the guys have kind of hit the nail on the head. A lot of people don't know about Pittsburgh. So if they're coming to the USA for the first time, it's probably not going to be on their radar. So I think the first client type would be people that have been to the USA, maybe they've been to the big cities before, and they're either coming back to revisit those cities and they have some time pre and post those cities and they want to add somewhere different on, or if they're looking for something completely different. Pittsburgh is certainly something completely different. So it's kind of the perfect location as well. So if people are doing an East Coast tour, they come into Pittsburgh first, and then they want to add on maybe the big cities of New York, Washington, Boston, spend, as Dirk said, 3-4 nights in Pittsburgh, see something completely different before they head off. It's perfect for those culture lovers. So Dirk's kind of mentioned some of those museums there. The touring focus is something that we're looking at. So Pittsburgh, its location is perfect for that East Coast tour, but also if people are looking to go west or north into the lakes or across to Chicago.
Fabulous. Wonderful. Thanks. That's really helpful. Now, I know you visited some fantastic breweries on the trip, and Pittsburgh has more than 40 microbreweries, which is brilliant. Mark, what do agents need to know about these?
Pittsburgh really does have a really decent microbrewery scene. There is so many, it is a wonder of where to start, but there's a really good little guide you can get. There's a Pittsburgh brewery guide you can get, and you can visit each brewery, get stamped. You get prizes as you reach each sort of milestone as well, so that's quite good. There's all different types of beers. It's not just the sort of the IPAs that are kind of sort of spread across the US, but they're doing some really good porters and sour beers. And stouts as well. The stouts are really good. In terms of the microbrews, I mean, we only got a glimpse of the 40, but definitely one of my favourites was Trace Brewing. It's a really good venue. They've got some excellent beers on there. My personal recommendation is the Keller beer. But they also have visiting food trucks as well. So there's a different food truck there on different nights.
Wonderful, thank you. And I know Pittsburgh's famed for its sports as well. So Dirk, could you tell us a bit about what it's got to offer clients?
Yeah, Pittsburgh is, if you're a sports lover, you're sport for choice when you go to Pittsburgh. You've got the Steelers, which is their NFL team. We didn't, unfortunately, get to see the game, but we did a stadium tour, and the stadium is amazing. You see it on TV. You've seen it in the Batman movies because it's the stadium when Bane comes crashing through. But then next door is the Pirates, the baseball stadium. We also went to see an ice hockey game. They had the Pittsburgh Penguins. And that's the first time I've been to an ice hockey game. And it was just an amazing experience. The crowd really got behind the team. Everybody was having fun. And it was almost like the experience was secondary to what was actually happening on the ice. So yeah, if you like sports, you're going to love Pittsburgh. And if you're lucky, you can probably see a game of each of those teams over a weekend.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Gosh, I mean, there really is so much to offer. I mean, Will, how can clients get to Pittsburgh? What's the airlift like? And how easy is it to get around once they're actually on the ground?
Yeah, so we're very lucky that British Airways launched their direct service as of June last year, and then it actually upped to 6 times per week in May this year. So it means that you can get there almost every day, which is fantastic. You come into Pittsburgh International Airport, you're the only ones flying in. It's the only international flight. So you're the only ones clearing customs, which is a massive selling point above a lot of other cities on the East Coast and in the US in general. So you clear customs, you get your bags, and then it's only 20 minutes into downtown Pittsburgh. So off from the plane to your hotel, it can be less than an hour, which is incredible, as I say, compared to other US cities. And then, as we talked about, once we're in the city, we don't need a car to get around. It's amazing. If you're staying in downtown or the cultural district, as Mark mentioned earlier, you can walk to the other areas. So you can walk along to the strip district where a lot of the food and the breweries are. You can walk over to the North Shore, which is where the stadiums are. But my favorite way to get around, other than walking, is to hire a bike and go for a cycle. So Pittsburgh is actually the starting place of the Gap Trail, which is the Great Allegheny Passage, which leads all the way to Washington, D.C. if you have a few weeks to cycle. But to just join the trail and have a quick cycle around the city and the surrounding areas, it's a very easy way to cycle around.
And Dirk, tell us sort of importantly, what are the prices like? How far will customers' budgets go when they're in Pittsburgh?
I was pleasantly surprised about how affordable Pittsburgh was. You know, you could get a hotel room at a nice hotel at the Fairmont for like $250 a night. Then even the nice restaurants we went to were not hideous. You know, a nice steak was $30. Even the Broadway shows that go there are half the price of Broadway. So you can go and see, at the moment, Mrs. Doubtfire for $89. And I know when we have had customers see it on Broadway, we were spending $200 on a ticket. So yeah, when they say Pittsburgh is affordable, it genuinely is.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you. Now, if you're watching this and feeling inspired, Visit Pittsburgh is going to host another FAM in 2024, and we're currently running a competition for 4 agents to win a space. So Will, tell us why agents should enter and why it's such a fantastic trip.
I think it's quite clear from Mark and Dirk's passion. But we had a great laugh on our FAM. So anything from, obviously we'll be going in April time, so that means we'll definitely be able to take in a baseball game with the Pirates. We'll be able to still get the tours of the ice hockey arena and the Steelers Stadium as well, but obviously they won't be playing. Hopefully the weather will be nice. We'll be able to get out on the river and do some of the water sports. So we can kayak, we can do a boat tour, and we'll definitely do some cycling and get around the city. All of the museums we'll definitely take in. We'll definitely get a Primanti Bro sandwich in, so you can hear. I mean, you can hear about it, but until you see it, you don't realise quite how big it is. It's a proper two-hander. Yeah, we'll definitely ride the Duquesne Incline. But if we haven't given you enough inspiration, we do have an online training program. It's very simple, so it's pittsburgh-pros.com. So go and have a look at that. Take the program, and yeah, learn more about why you should enter this prize to win a place on our April fan.
Oh gosh, it sounds like an amazing trip. Perfect. Well, make sure you enter the competition. It's available via the competition section on t2gmedia.com, and you'll get one entry for telling us what you'd most like to experience in Pittsburgh. So hopefully you've got lots of inspiration from the video here. And if you'd like to get a second entry, just complete the Pittsburgh Pros training, which now includes a new module on the stunning areas near the city. So thank you so much, Mark, Dirk and Will, and thank you for joining us to learn more about Visit Pittsburgh. Bye, everyone.
Bye.